Hello and welcome to the Walk in Love podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Brooke.
And today we are going to talk about what's been happening. Nailed it. Still got it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week. Welcome back to the Walk in Love podcast. How long were we gone?
Maybe like a month.
However long it was.
It felt like 4 years.
Well, I was just going to say that it was emotionally stable.
Emotionally, it felt like 4 years.
Emotionally, just like a really peaceful time being away. And, but we're back. And it feels good to be back. It feels good to hear Brooke be back.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something like, say your name and your address or, I don't know.
No, I do not want to do that.
Social security number, you don't want to do that?
Right. Just rattle off personal information to prove my voice sounds better.
Yeah.
Seems like a smart move.
How many days away are we from voice surgery?
Well, I got it on the 16th.
Okay.
And we launch on the 17th, this coming Friday.
So today is the 12th.
So I don't know the math on that. I don't know how many days are in May. Actually,
April,
I do
June.
Because it's our anniversary. That's the only way I know that there's 31.
April, June, past September, all the rest are like November. Every day has 31 except for February.
Which has 90.
Yeah, nailed it. So, yeah, I think we'll just talk about your voice recovery. We'll talk about the collection that has come up. We don't really have a plan for the episode.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd come back really strong with like a no plan episode. But honestly, we didn't know we were going to record this
Correct.
6 days ago.
Correct.
Even maybe 3 or 4 days ago. So why don't I just give it up to you, Brooke, to fill the void of emptiness with words.
Yay.
Your expertise.
My expertise.
Why don't you just talk about like voice surgery, disappointment, upswing.
Okay.
You basically did a voice surgery, which is hard.
Yeah.
Then you did 5 days of voice rest, which is also hard.
Mm-hmm.
Then you spoke and spiraled into the dust of the earth a little bit.
I wasn't Googling bridges.
Right.
I think emotionally I was Googling bridges.
Emotionally, you were Googling what found the foundation of a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to live under a bridge. You were going to live under
I was just going to be buried as part of it down in there maybe. Yeah.
something, whatever the worst version of that is. And then recovery to now where we are today.
Okay.
So,
to be honest, I feel like you just gave the update I was going to give by saying, hey, Brooke, why don't you talk about, and then you said it all. The actual surgery went well, as expected.
right.
Which was great. And then, and I think we had mentioned this in the last episode. I blacked out. Like, I don't remember the last 4 episodes we did. I couldn't tell you what we talked about in 2022. Except one episode where Does Jesus Live With You? I remember that one.
Okay.
Or Is
nice.
Jesus in Your Home? Or whatever. Whatever I said. It's a great episode. Y'all should go listen.
Are you saying see the world or sea world?
I'm not totally sure. But yeah, they said this time I only needed to do 5 days of voice rest, where typically in the past I had done 10 on my previous 2 surgeries. So right there, from the start, in my mind, without actually speaking these expectations out loud, because they were just sort of like subconscious in there, my thinking is, I guess it'll be easier or better or faster or
smoother.
There's a difference. Why is it 5
greater.
instead of 10?
Or more awesome.
Right.
Do you want me to keep going with that?
No. And then 5 days of voice rest went by. It actually went pretty quickly because, again, 5 is
shorter than
of
10.
10.
I don't know
and
if
so
you know that.
That just felt like it wasn't too bad. And then I went to talk morning of day 5 or whatever and basically had no voice. I can't say that I literally had no voice. Excuse me, because I was capable of making a sound.
Yeah.
Not
you,
even.
No, you made sounds.
You make sounds. Yeah. But it was bad.
They don't always come out of your mouth.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's where I thought you were going with that. And so it was like, well, that's okay. Like, I only didn't talk for 5 days. I guess it just still sounds really rough. And then,
I don't think you were that positive
No, but
Initially.
but I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
I was still quasi-positive until that appointment. Wouldn't you say that is when I spiraled?
I would say that is partially true.
Okay.
I would say that you were very disappointed the morning you started talking.
Right.
I think mini spiraled a few times.
Rightfully so, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's no judgment from me here. And then after your first check-in appointment, that's when the tears were flowing.
Yeah. I mean, I hate blanket statements and I hate like big black and white type stuff, but I'm just going to speak like that about this because it's easier to explain the story to those of you who weren't here, which is all of you. None of you were here. Just TJ was. It was just like, I sounded terrible.
Yeah.
Like it was awful, and it was surprising because in the past, I don't know, it's like you do anything twice, almost anything twice, whether it's a surgery or not. Like you have 2 babies, you kind of think, okay, well the third is like, I got this. I know what I'm doing.
I know what to expect. Yeah.
I sort of know what to expect. Yeah. And so I just assumed that was the case in my recovery.
You eat 2 Doritos Locos Tacos, you get the diarrhea. You know that the third one.
Yes.
You know what to expect. As expected.
No surprises here.
I'm going to Taco Bell for the 3rd time.
I know what I'm signing up for.
I know how close I need to be to a bathroom.
Yes. And so, yeah, I sounded bad. And then I was like trying to be chill about it internally and externally. Great. Especially was trying to be chill about it in front of the girls.
Yeah.
Because they were already feeling a lot of things that week or weeks surrounding. And then I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but I found a video of me speaking after my 2nd surgery.
Right.
Like I was supposed to go see the doctor that day to get checked. And on my drive to get checked, I took a video of me talking even before he checked me. And I didn't quite sound as clear as I do right now, but I was pretty darn close.
Right.
So I did spiral quite a bit over just like, why? Like, why does it sound so bad? Is something wrong? Why is it different?
Is this going to be my voice forever?
Is it not going to ever come back fully?
Right.
Just like all those things. So I go to my first appointment, which let me say, like, the doctor I'm seeing is excellent from the standpoint of, and this is my prayer all along, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this.
Yeah. That
I wanted to find somebody here who knew what they were looking at.
Right.
I didn't want to go into my first appointment and be like, I just moved here, blah, blah, blah. Here's my thing. And then be like, interesting. Okay. And start asking me questions like they've never heard of it. I wanted them to know what was up.
Yeah.
And this doctor does 1,000%.
Yep.
He has completely like, I don't know if the word cured is right but like.
It's a viral infection that he has eradicated.
He has eradicated it in some of his patients to the point where they no longer need surgeries, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I have I'm very grateful for him. However, he is a very short-spoken person. He does not give a lot
of... He's sort of like the doctor in Parks and Rec. A little bit.
I can't remember that
Where
one.
he's like so straightforward. Like he loves Ron. When Ron's
yes, that's right. Yeah.
It's like, this is my favorite patient ever.
Yeah.
Or he's like the doctor.
He just doesn't give a lot of extra details.
Not very warm and fuzzy.
He's not, I would say he's cold though either. He just, I don't know. Again, compared to what expectation did I have? I don't know. Previous doctor in Pennsylvania, very friendly and loud.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's what I was comparing it to.
I would say that Pennsylvania doctor has a great bedside manner.
Yes.
I haven't met this doctor, but from what I gather from your stories, the bedside manner is a little bit lacking.
It's not bad though. Like I feel the need to defend a stranger to internet people. He doesn't have poor bedside manner. He's just not like chatty and friendly, and he's not reading the room to be like, she seems nervous, I'm gonna fill it with talk.
Yeah.
Like he just comes in, he says what he needs to say, he's very direct, and he leaves. Anyway, I go to my first appointment.
And he leaves you.
Weeping in tears to the point where I might throw up. Yeah. In my car. Yeah. But again.
What are we doing?
I don't know other than I went to that appointment fully expecting
This is what you wanted to do to him.
I don't hear anything.
It doesn't work.
Okay. Fully expecting to be scoped, which if you don't know what that is, it's like they can't just look down my throat with something because I'll gag, as will most people. So they have to take this skinny little camera on a cord thingamajig. They have to go up through your nose, turn the corner, and go down through your throat.
Well,
They scope you, and then they can like watch it back on a video and look at you and listen to you sing and talk. Feel free to Google scope videos if you are
I don't
interested.
know if I would tell people that.
Well, if it doesn't freak you out, it's really crazy to watch somebody sing. Have you ever seen people's vocal cords move when you sing?
No.
It's nuts. Anyway.
I don't do good. I don't do well.
I know you don't. I wasn't speaking to you when I said Google it.
Well,
I was talking
it
to the
feels
very
like-
brave person out there
It
who's
feels
like, oh,
you
that's
were-
fascinating.
Well, now that feels like judgment. It feels like I lack in bravery.
That's not bravery.
Courage.
It's your ability to stomach something like physical from the body. I mean, you're afraid that like if I have a knife in the kitchen, I might accidentally stab somebody outside. Like you just don't do well with bodily injuries or bodily things.
What if you just...
I mean, I guess it's possible. It seems unlikely.
I've seen you drop enough things to know that if you're carrying a knife from the dishwasher to the knife drawer or to the knife
Have I
sticky thing,
ever dropped a knife though?
Well, I don't know.
I really don't think I have. I've also never dropped my camera. No, that one time it fell off. That was the
The strap.
the strap's fault.
Okay.
Anyway,
I keep no record. Love keeps no record of wrong.
right. Except for the list on my notes and my computer.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I've got that, but I'm
I
not
gotta
keeping the record. My computer's keeping
I
the
gotta
record.
be ready for a fight.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just. I gotta Google. I don't know my.
Grocery,
I gotta reset my
Costco.
password. Hold on.
Hold on. Costco.
Hold on. Can you send me the code they just sent you?
I don't know what that one must have been a dream.
Anyway, I go prepared to be scoped because in the past, again, you have two things happen. Both times I got scoped at my first appointment, I was prepared for that to happen this
Right.
time. And it's not that it's painful, it's uncomfortable, but it's not like the worst thing. But again, I was emotionally prepared. I was like, that's what he's going to look in there and then he's going to know. And he's going to tell me whatever.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I go. I have no voice. And I'm also feeling very anxious and tense and stressed, which makes it worse.
Yeah.
Makes everything in there tight, which is not what you want to speak clearly. He basically tells me surgery was great, blah, blah, blah. We removed more than we thought we would. Like, that's great. Be prepared to have more surgeries in life, to which I black out, forget to ask all questions I wanted to ask. And then he was like, well, we're not going to scope you today because you're a disaster down there. And that's where maybe he has a little bit of bad bedside manner. But again, I think...
I would describe that as bad
I
bedside
guess.
manner.
I just feel bad saying that about someone, but...
Right. No one knows his name.
No. But, to be honest, I think from his perspective and the amount of patience he's seen with this, I think that I was.
Right.
I just don't use that word.
Yeah.
Especially if you can tell that I'm like shutting down
Yeah.
while sitting there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I left that appointment with no answers, which I didn't realize I wanted as badly as I did until I didn't get any.
You just wanted
I just wanted to know it was going to be okay and that it was going to come back.
The similar story was like when we had Daisy and I was trying to we were having trouble wiring money to buy this house and no one was telling me
At no point,
the mortgage people, the escrow people, the bank people,
no one said it's going to be fine.
okay. You're going to get this house.
Go have your baby. Except for our realtor.
Except Travis.
Whose name we will say because he's fantastic. Yeah.
And so it was similar to that where you had this expectation of I just want someone to tell me it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And not only did he not do that, he said the word more surgeries and terrible.
He said disaster and it was a mess in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
I mean,
I think we knew that. I mean, you scoped me. That's why I went in for surgery. You scoped me before and you saw that. But again, I don't know. It was not a great appointment.
No.
So I came home and cried really, really hard.
Yeah.
For quite a few days.
Yep.
Over a variety of things. Over the recognition of, whoa, I had all these expectations I'd never voiced.
Yeah.
And it's not like I had them and I thought, oh, I can't say them out loud. It's you don't even know they're there until they're not met or until you're disappointed. And then you're like, okay, well, why am I disappointed? I guess I had an expectation.
Yeah.
Ugh, I didn't know that I did. Here's what it is. Let me admit it. Now I can work through it. There was a lot of that happening.
Yeah. And it's almost like you would have been better off if like if you had known you had those expectations and you were disappointed, that would have been easier. But it's like you didn't know you had them. You were then disappointed. And then you had to figure out that you had them, which was also disappointing. And it was like...
Yeah. Then it was the whole like, I should have known better. Why did I expect that in the first place? Like that sort of spirally stuff. Anyway, I ended up still sounding bad for a while. I don't remember all the dates. Actually, I do. I sounded bad through our anniversary because we went to see Top Gun on our anniversary.
With 3 other people.
Which was hysterical and the best. I was just like, did I ever think at my 13th wedding anniversary, I'd be seeing Top Gun in Maui with Bianca, Ian, and Jack? No, I did not, but I'm here for it. And so were they. And so the movie was great. We can talk about that separately, but it was on that drive home. I had such a bad headache just from the day, like not from the movie.
And from the 13 years, am I right?
Am I right? That I was like really stretching my neck out in the car on the drive home just to try to get some relief. And when I looked straight down, like put my head down as far as I could go, that was the first time I felt like we heard the actual like tone of my voice come through. And so then for the next 2 days, I was like experimenting with speaking with my head much lower than I typically do. In fact, I've learned to adjust in the opposite direction.
Right.
I pick my head up a lot when I talk, which I shouldn't do, but that's what I needed to do in order to speak previously.
To have any sort of volume.
Yes. And so it was just like habit.
Habit.
And so it was freaking you out because it was like, you were like,
are you okay?
I was like really either staring at you or like staring more at your chest when I would talk to you because I couldn't pick my head up and still have a voice. Anyway, and then I got like, we have one of those like, and we've shared about it, I'm pretty sure, like one of those neck back massagers that you just like plug in and hold on with your arms. I rubbed the daylights, like almost painfully so, out of my neck and shoulders because I had a headache. I had no expectations, truthfully.
Right.
And I stood up and my voice was so much better after that. So then for about a week and a half, I rubbed my neck and shoulders. I Yulia'd it up for like 4 to 5 times a day.
Yep.
And here we are on the 12th.
Yeah.
Like it was really bad. There was a lot of emotions. I heard a little bit of it get better, which gave me the hope of like, oh, it is going to come back. It's there.
It's there.
It's just that and I still haven't been scoped, but this is still my assumption. And I believe that this is correct. That this doctor, because he knows what he's doing.
And because he has eradicated it.
And and so he has a lot of confidence.
He came in like a wreck.
Yes. He was very aggressive.
Yeah.
With removing everything that he possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think that's necessarily what's happened in the past, or I don't really know.
Yeah.
But like, I do believe that he was very aggressive this time. And so therefore, my recovery was significantly longer. That wasn't communicated to me up front.
No.
But this is also the first time this doctor's been in there.
Yeah.
So like for all he knows, he's
know.
thinking this is exactly what's happened every time.
Yeah.
Like it was just a lot of newness, and it was different, and it was emotional. And I mean, not being able to talk
is emotional.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I'm very grateful that that it's back. And I still think it'll get better and clearer than it is 100%, now.
100%, yeah.
Because it still hasn't even been a month. But,
right. Which in the grand scheme of things is like...
No, and I've said that to you.
Yeah.
I've said if in the end I do need more surgeries and this becomes what it is, I don't have a voice for about a month, I can do that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't communicate that to friends or family, to anybody.
Yeah.
And so it just felt very like, whoa, what's wrong?
Yeah. I mean, like, we even were to the point where like, what are we going to do with the podcast? Mm-hmm. How are we going to like do our job? Like there were some real fear there. It wasn't just like, man, this is taking longer than expected. Like there was, because we didn't know what to expect. It was like, man,
there were big blips of, is this semi-permanent.
How are we going to release a collection if Brooke can't talk? And so, yeah, I would say the best way to describe it is like really scary, but not like Brooke's going to die scary. Just like, man, this will radically alter our lives and our livelihood. And so like there's some fear in that. And I think the thing that I just like kept saying to Brooke over and over again and to myself was like, it's going to be okay. Like,
yeah,
we believe in a God who is good and who takes care of us. And sometimes that care looks different, like. So,
yeah, that care doesn't always equal complete healing.
Or like complete ease.
Right.
But as we remember, we use the phrase, remember the lion and the bear, like David was able to remember the lion and remember the bear and battle Goliath. And it was like, well, we have seasons where life was hard and difficult, and we have to remember those in seasons that are hard and difficult. Like those seasons weren't the end of us, and we survived them. And so if we can survive them and we can remember that lion and that bear, we can survive this one. This one felt a little heavier, like it was definitely harder. The voice rest was harder by leaps and bounds, even though it was shorter. Like it was so much harder because we had two older girls, both with a million questions, more emotions, more grasp of the reality that mom isn't talking.
Yeah.
And so to me, that was like a much more challenging, part.
Thing
Like
to navigate.
Like last time it was like Sunny was little and June was like Sunny's age.
Even younger, yeah.
And so like answering June's questions, and dealing with her emotions then was easier. But like as a 7-year-old, she's grasping that something's not right with mom.
Yeah.
Her sister is picking up on that energy, and they're both, I don't know. It was definitely just more challenging.
Different. Yeah.
And just like, I don't know, I felt like it was just tiring. Like I feel like this last month has been so tiring of just
I'm so tired.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like, I don't know. It was just, I guess for me too, it was like, man, I had these expectations. Surgery was going to be like, bam, 5 days, we're rolling. I had all these plans for things to work on in May. Like, we were going to do the bathroom. We were going to and it was like, oh, none of that really happened because we were just like surviving. It just felt like, man, I was like ready to thrive a little bit. And we just went into survival mode, which we survived and we still are surviving. But I still feel the like, I don't know, when you hit it like a bumpy path, it's like, are we through that? Like, is that over? Like, you're good, right? Like every morning I'm like, you sound good, right? Like, things going to be okay, right? You know, like you can do your stories and your try on and like, and someone listening to this might think like, oh, what's the big deal if you can't do that stuff? Like, I mean, it is a big deal. Like,
yeah, I mean, to us it is. I mean, it's our job. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's our job. It's our livelihood. And so like, if Brooke can't show up, I don't know if people are necessarily going to shop as much or buy as much or whatever. And so like there was a lot of fear there for me, I think. A lot more than I probably expressed in the moment, just because I was like, I'm not going to tell her that I'm scared of all this stuff because.
Right. And there is a little bit, and we talked about this way back. Do you remember the circles of, and there's a term for it in therapy or whatever. I don't know the name of it.
Nice.
And so there's a little bit of value in what you did in not expressing all that to me in the pit of my swirls down to becoming part of a bridge, just that like the person in the middle of the tragedy or the grief or the cancer diagnosis or whatever, like they can, if they're in the center, they can look outward to their ring of people. And then that ring can look outward to theirs. And it's just a way to say like, hey, if you're like 3 or 4 rings out, you probably shouldn't be going inward with your complaints or excess fears or anything, because like they already have all those. You go outward with yours, not back in.
Yeah. And it was just like, I just like kept having to remind myself over and over again, like, I trust the Lord that it's not necessarily Brooke's voice that makes us money or that, it's a certain way that we make content that makes us a living, because a lot of my fears end up being there. Like, are we going to make a living, And I think a lot of people, I don't know if you listening are like that, but I think a lot of people resonate with that. Like a lot of your fear comes down to like, do I have enough to provide for me and my family? Like,
Right.
you know, and so for me, that was like, the voice went right to that because
Yeah.
you're such an important part and people value what you bring to the table so much that it's like, without that, how does it even look? And, but I just haven't,
I hear you there. I do.
I just kept
I
having
hear
to
you.
remind myself that like, it's okay. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I kept saying it to you, but I think I was saying it to both of us. Like, your voice is going to be okay. I truly believe that. There was never a point in the recovery that I was like, you're going to sound like this forever. I just did not believe that.
Yeah.
I just kind of was under the, like, I was just believing that like this doctor was a little hardcore, came in like wrecking ball. And after you use a wrecking ball, there's more to clean up and then there's just more recovery. And there's like, you know, and I just kept being like, you know, if you break your ankle, which I've done, you know, you test it out. Like, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to try to, you know, walk quicker. Oh, that kind of hurt. I'm going to take it easy. And that's what I just kept saying.
Or it doesn't hurt today and it does hurt tomorrow. Like,
yeah, which did happen as well.
Confusing.
You know, and so, but yeah, there was definitely, I don't know, just fear. And that's hard for me. Like, it was just hard. And I feel, even now, I feel like, man, we've got the collection coming out at the end of this week. And I still feel the like, are we ready? Did we do it? Like, what, you know, because this last month was so just like,
yeah,
what is happening?
Little butt clenchy.
It was definitely a butt clenchy month, but also like a butt clenchy month where I felt like you couldn't see the clench. I didn't want you to see the clench. I felt that. I don't know.
I mean, I felt it from you. Maybe not literally the butt clench, but I mean, I felt your anxiety at times, but it was so, not justifiable is not the word. Like, I was not surprised. You had every reason to be feeling everything you were feeling. So I wasn't like, oh gosh, TJ's nervous too. I was like, of course he's feeling those things.
Right.
This is not what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And that's hard. And I think in life, whether it's a surgery or whether it's like a business, you know, something you're doing in your business and it's like,
or even parenting,
and you're like, this is not what I expected.
Right.
And that means I had expectations.
Yes.
I have not been honest with myself about those expectations to face this reality.
Yep.
But yeah, we're through it, I think. You know, I think there's still recovery happening.
I did go back for a second appointment. And it was early in the morning. And I actually went in and I said, because the nurse who saw me the first time saw me this time, and she gave me a little bit of a look like, oh, I mean, I can hear some of your voice, but you're not as clear as I thought you'd be. And I said, it will be back by lunch. Like, this appointment is just too early.
Yeah.
You know, it's just too early in the morning. It's back now by the afternoon. And now I'm to the point in the last, 3 days?
Yeah.
Where it's back even when I wake up.
Yeah.
Which is great.
You just got to remember to keep hitting that massager.
Yes.
Which then it's like, there's probably some tension, muscular stuff happening there.
100%.
Especially since when I call your name and you're like, hello.
I can't turn my head. I have to turn my whole torso like a old person. Yeah.
I'm 1,000 years old.
Yeah. And I don't know if all of my neck tension is from having to speak adjusted / incorrectly or whatever for so long because of my voice, or if that's just where I hold tension and it doesn't help my voice. Like, I don't know if my voice is over the years has caused all that neck stuff. Or because I know that's a very, very common place for people to.
I mean, I keep all my tension in my butt.
That adds up to me. that adds up, and I don't know if I want to go there into the specifics of that, but that adds up.
What specifics would you go into?
I just feel like your ability. Oh, we're going into it. Okay.
Here we go.
No turning back. No turning back.
You want weird? I'll give you weird. Weird.
Your ability to make your butt cheeks so tightly together. It's why we have the joke credit or debit, because I don't think I could even wiggle a credit card in there. There's no way. It's too tight.
It's just a skill. We all have certain. The Lord gives. He gave one talent to someone.
Gives and takes away. Yep. He gave. Yeah.
We're all gifted in different ways,
Okay.
using our gifts to glorify him.
Well, I'm grateful for my gifts then.
Oh man. Anyway, so we went there. So what do you feel like over this last month? Is there like one phrase or one lesson or one thing that like has been on your like because for me it was like I definitely fear. Like I definitely, fear is an issue, and I feel that. I think everybody feels that. Like we all have fear. And it's like, when it comes down to my fear, what am I doing with it? Am I placing it into like, am I feeding it,
Right.
or am I trusting God with it? And I actually feel like this last month, I really felt like, okay, I'm going to really trust God with this. I felt like I was with him more in it. And then I was just like, I'm just going to remain faithful to like the plan. And so like, when you got the voice surgery, it was like, oh, I was going to take over schooling. I was going to finish that off. And like, I thought it was going to be for 5 days. And it ended up being for basically the last month of school.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's just where I am. That's just where we are. And I'm going to be okay with that. And I'm not going to, spend that time being bitter or being frustrated. Because if I spend my time doing that, that means I'm letting the fear dictate my actions. And I just like wasn't. So for me, that was kind of the lesson that I learned is like, even when I'm afraid, I'm going to put my trust in the Lord and I'm going to walk that out however it looks. And so like this time it was a little more school, a little less work. It was putting some projects on hold that I was excited to get to. And in the end, it was such it ended up being a shorter period of time than we expected. Like I was about ready to like start texting all my friends. I mean, like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast with me? Because I don't know how we're going to do this. I cannot talk to myself for 30, 40 minutes. Like,
Weekly. Yeah.
And so, but I don't know. Is there anything
I don't
that
know.
you want to go into now, or do you want to just?
I don't know if I had one phrase. I don't. Like when we've said this before, this isn't my phrase, but like I give everything and everyone to you from the Get Your Life Back book. Isn't that his 1 minute pause phrase?
Maybe.
I think that's his phrase, something like that. And I definitely had mantras like that I was saying to myself. And then I was reminding myself, like, I am included in that. Like when I say I give everything and everyone to you, that includes me. Right. Like it's not just like all these people out here who are irritating or the internet, like not you listeners, the internet, you know what I mean? Big picture internet. Like, I think in the past I've said that like I need to just let something go. I give everything and, everyone to you. Like it's not mine to carry. Mm-hmm. And I felt that similarly, but I was finally sort of including myself in that. Yeah, that idea of not that it's not mine to carry. I don't have to carry it alone. Maybe it was that. Just the feelings of this is a lot. This feels heavy. What does this mean if it's forever? Even if it's not forever, what if it's 6 months? What if it's 3 whole months? Right. Like I'm 18 days in at the time or whatever. And like, this is hard.
Yeah.
Oof. What if it's this hard for a long time? And that felt like a lot to carry. And so I was reminding myself a lot just because it wasn't just like, we'll just tell somebody about it. And like, they'll carry it with you. Like I'm not negating that, but that's not what I needed. I needed to remember that like, it's to cast all my cares and anxieties to physically let him carry them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't fully unpacked it because I was not prepared to like.
We weren't prepared for any of this.
No.
But we're doing it. And we're 34 minutes in.
Yikes.
Incredible.
Credit or debit?
Stop. It's inappropriate.
Is it though?
No, I mean we've talked about weirder things. Okay, so we are back. Mm-hmm. The podcast will hopefully be weekly. Obviously, if Brooke has a tender day or two, we might take it off or whatever. But also we have a collection coming out, and so that comes out on Friday. Yep. 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. It is the birthday collection. We will have, we previewed it on our Instagram. Hopefully you saw it. If not, it's highlighted. But we have new designs, 3 new designs, quite a few reprints. We will have some special priced, because we know like, we had to raise our prices this year, like just like everyone. Everything is more expensive now. Like, and what's crazy to me is like even between collections, I'm seeing like shirts I ordered for spring that I'm ordering now
cost more.
Yeah, like it's crazy and it's frustrating.
Right.
Like it's frustrating as a consumer because I'm a consumer. I consume things.
Yeah.
But I find it even more frustrating
as a business
owner because
right.
I'm like anyways, I could go into it, but I'm not going to.
Good. So what are we doing?
So
that was what you're getting at.
Yeah. So to try to alleviate some of that frustration, we will have some originals at a discounted price, a special birthday price, and we'll have that on the website when we launch. And that's both as a way to celebrate the birthday. 3 years ago, we brought back Walk in Love in this format, and we never expected it to be what it is.
Yeah.
And so we want to just celebrate that. And we also want to know that like we think about how much things cost. Like it's not arbitrary to us that you guys like we don't take for granted that you guys use your hard-earned money to buy shirts.
Right.
And so I want you to know that we appreciate that, and that hopefully this discount, if you've been like, I can't afford them anymore, hopefully this discount helps you buy one. Yeah. Because we really, really appreciate it, and it just means so much to us. And so we want to just make sure that you knew that. But yeah, we're stoked. I think the collection looks great. I'm having a hard time picking a favorite, but I think there's one that says created for purpose, created with purpose. Like there's the for and the with. Mm-hmm. That's probably my new favorite item. I don't know. What about you?
Well, I haven't done a try on yet, so I haven't actually tried them all on because there's always one that surprises me that I don't think will be in my top favorites, and it ends up being there. Yeah. Design-wise, I really like the one you just said. Actually, I like all the new ones. I realized I was about to list 3, and I think there's 3 new ones.
There's 3 new ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Created for with purpose.
I love that one.
Abide in me.
I love that one.
Design for joy.
Yeah, I like that.
Design for joy comes in both a large print and a pocket print, which is probably you were like, maybe there's more than 3.
But there's also right? No. Isn't there original on this whitish?
Yeah.
Oh, it's this different style of shirt, but similar color. There's like an off-white original. Natural with like just the black Walk in Love.
Clutch. And we also have tote bags, and we have kids items. And so hopefully it's in your budget this time to shop.
And bracelets. We got lots of cool stuff. Yeah.
I think the code for the podcast user should be butt clench. Just
no.
What do you mean?
You think?
100%. What's your code? BUTTCLENCH. Butt clench.
Butt clench. Okay.
I was in the spelling bee. I got 6th place.
Wow, 6th. And you remember that?
No, I got 5th place because I got out the round before they went to like the top 4.
Okay.
And they like, it was like,
oh, and you missed that round?
I missed the round. I got out on dangerous. Dangerous is what I did. I had a giant head, probably some sort of bowl cut. Probably a t-shirt that was worn too many days in a row. Or a yellow Resolite wrestling sweatshirt that I wore all the time. I get up on stage. Very awkward looking.
Dangerous.
Dangerous. DANGERUS. Dangerous. I said the F word. I kicked the mic over.
You spelled the F word. It's a spelling bee.
I was in 4th grade.
Wow.
That's where
I was never, but I don't recall any sort of official spelling bee at our school, like any sort of.
Oh, we were on stage in the
thing that was like on a stage. I think maybe we did it within our own classroom. I sort of have a memory of standing up front.
That's cute.
Yeah, well.
So the code is.
I'm gonna be snarky, and I'm not gonna be.
Butt clench. BUTTCLENCH. Butt clench. Ding 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 ding.
I like it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, thank you for shopping with us. Thank you for the prayers and the messages. And really, like, our audience is just incredible. Like, we say that over and over again because it's totally true. And it's like we just celebrated being on Maui for a year, which feels insane. At first we thought we were only going to live here for a year.
Right.
Turns out we're going to stay a little bit longer. But when we were doing that, Brooke kind of got on the story and was like, hey, we went to this, we used Resort Pass. We did this fun thing. June went down a water slide like 7,000 times.
To the point that I think she a swimmer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we had to stop her. This is a great app called Resort Pass. If you live somewhere with warm climate,
Yeah.
where you can buy a pass to use like
a
the
day pass.
facilities of
A hotel
a
or
hotel,
resort, but not stay there.
but not stay there. So like Maui hotel rooms are like insanely expensive. And so
Yeah.
we were like trying to figure out how we were going to do this. And we saved up to do it. And we were going to get a room, but maybe
Really
not
just to
even
use the
stay
pool.
there.
Yeah.
And then we found out about Resort Pass. And so it was like a third of the price. Anyways, June loved it. We loved it. It's a great little tool if you live somewhere with lots of resorts. You know, I'll link it in the show notes. I don't know what I was saying. But anyways, so we were on the way to...
Me neither, so I'm no help.
Yeah, so we were on the way to do that. And Brooke was like, hey, we're celebrating our Maui anniversary. And I just like, I don't... the messages of just like, and I didn't even read them all, like,
Right.
but I could just tell from the first few lines that were just like, your voice sounds so great. It's so good to hear you. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And just like that to me was just like such an encouraging moment. And that encouragement doesn't exist without you. And to know that you care so deeply about my wife that you would take the time to say that, it just means the world to me. And so we're just forever grateful for all of you. And yeah, so butt clench is our way of saying thank you. So use that
So if
code.
this is the end of our friendship, I understand. But, I hope not.
But clench will save you a little bit extra at checkout on the summer collection,
Man.
June 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
I turned 37.
Wow.
I know, that feels old. 36, you're like, I'm still in my mid 30s. I'm in my late 30s.
It's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'll be 36.
Wow.
What? That's all you Wow.
Oh,
You're so
wow.
old.
I didn't know
You
what.
monster. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for making us a part of your week. Collection goes live this week. And
Yep.
I think that's it. I kind of want to share some other news, but I think I'll wait.
Yeah.
The December news.
Oh, yeah. Please wait, because we've not decided upon that. And that's what you'll do. You'll say it to everybody, and then I have to do it.
I mean, that's part of my strategy
I know.
of life.
Ugh. Stressful strategy.
Oh, gosh. I almost burped as our outro.
Gross.
Thank you for making us part of your week.
Okay, I love you. Bye.